Hello, everybody, and welcome to Silent Podcast. I am your host, Isaiah, and I am here to talk about Total Drama Island episodes 11 and 12 with my two co-hosts, Lance.
What's up, everybody? Back again. I know it's been a minute, but your boy is back.
And Sabrina.
Hi.
Real quick, without going into details, you guys want to talk about where you guys were for the past week?
Okay, so me and Sab were off this past week because we were being reality stars playing in Victory House Presents The Mole.
Exciting.
Yeah, this is my first time actually meeting Lance in person. Like, I felt like I had known him forever because we ran through the same circles with live reality gaming. We've been on, similar shows in the past, and I don't know. I just felt like I'd known him already. So it was really strange meeting him because it felt like I already had met him, but but it was really, really cool to actually get to know him better in person and play a game with him. So super fun. I'm so excited for you guys to see the episodes.
Honestly, episodes are coming out. The trailer actually dropped, so head on over to Victory House Presents The Mole, season 3. It's gonna be a good one. Make sure y'all watch. Y'all in for a treat. And like Sabrina said, meeting someone in person is so refreshing. You think you can know someone, but experiencing their aura in person, I will say Sabrina is a friend for life.
Yes.
And all I can say, just a small little plug, if y'all are not Little Mix stands, make sure y'all get into it because Sabrina turned so many people in that house to Little Mix stands that weekend. And I will say, Sweet Melody has been in full rotation since.
Yes, get on it.
All right. Now, real quick before we go into this week's episodes, Lance, we missed you for episodes 10 and 9. I mean, short notice. So, any quick thoughts of those last two?
It was definitely interesting to see, things are really starting to formulate. For me, Gwen is definitely showcasing herself as a front runner, and I just can't wait to see her trajectory. Will it bite her in the foot? We're definitely seeing Duncan step it up, and we also see that blossoming love between not really love, but a little, flirtmans between Courtney and Duncan. So I knew eventually Beth was gonna bite herself in the butt, and Sabrina called it by, saying that, hey, that token, that idol would be her demise, and that ultimately is what shot her out the door. And I just can't wait to see what the rest of the season hold. I feel like we're at after this week, we're at the halfway point. Halfway point of the season. But it's exciting. It's shaping up to be a really good first season of Total Drama Island.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, we might as well just get into these episodes. So we start with episode 11. And we're picking up from the crazy cooking challenge last time. That was honestly a huge disaster on both sides. Heather's still sick. Chef is giving people old food from the last challenge and all that. People are just sick of each other, honestly. And this whole kumbaya thing is kind of out the window. Everyone hates each other right now. So what we're going to see is we're starting to see a little bit more of this interaction between Courtney and Duncan. The show's editing wise is definitely pushing them to a lot. How do you guys feel about those two as a I don't know what to call them, a duo, a friendship, a couple, I don't know, romance, what?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's one of those I think I talked about it last time where it's just whenever you like somebody but you don't want to like them, or you think people think that you're weird for liking them, you automatically go ew, I don't like you, but I kind of do, but I don't, but I do. And that's how Courtney's acting right now for sure. Because Duncan definitely is showing outright interest in her, and she's just I don't know, it just seems weird, but I kind of like it. And you can tell something's gonna come further with it. It's starting to grow already, and I think it's gonna keep going. But I like it because it's one of those unexpected kind of couplings, and so I think it's cute.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely an unconventional relationship. I think when the season started, I'd never pegged Courtney to be with someone like Duncan. But for me, I think Courtney is really so set on still being the alpha. So she's kind of scared that it's going to make her look weak by depending on a guy, by really, giving herself to someone where she just don't realize that could definitely propel her in the game. Look at how Gwen and Trent, they're not really pegged as a threat, but they are a force together. So why not become a force with Duncan? And like I talked about weeks ago, they could come together as a foursome and be an amazing force in this game. It's still a little bit of floaters in this game. So if they would come together, make a force, they literally could pick people off one by one and be the top 4 of season 1.
Yep.
All right. So we see this challenge. Oh, do you guys hear a little bit echo? Is that just me?
It could be me. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. So we're gonna find out what the actual challenge. Oh, well, actually, before we go into the challenge, we also see DJ and this rabbit. That's a big thing too. You soft DJ. But yeah. Oh, go ahead, Lance. You have something to say?
No, I'm just saying, Marshmallow Muscles, I caught it weeks ago, and his rabbit is his baby. That's like, it's his adopted son in the wild out there, and it's just so amazing to see, his trajectory with this, this creature. Like it's kind of like, like to have that like special little pet out there, and he values it so much, and that continue to see his soft side. Just makes me smile every week. If DJ was a real human, like that soft spot would touch me, and I'd be like, "Hey, baby, what's good?"
So we're going into the challenge, and it's a trust factor challenge. Basically, it's like how much do you trust your teammates? Honestly, As they're going on with these challenges, this one reminds me of something that they would do on the challenge almost. I mean, it's a little bit overstate with the rusty nails and the explosives and the oil and everything, but with the extreme factor of it did remind me of the challenge a little bit. Obviously, since the last challenge was such a dumpster fire, a lot of these people are still in conflicts, specifically Gwen, Lashana, and then Heather, obviously, and they're still kind of going at it. And this isn't the best time for something like a trust challenge, obviously, but they're going to try to get over it, and we're going to see what happens over there. But how do you guys feel about this rivalry of Gwen and Lashana versus Heather right now?
I think it's fun. It's one of those things where I think Heather reached kind of her peak of her dominance in the game, and I think now honestly she's slowly starting to decline. And I think it started off with the last episode wherever they locked her in the freezer, and even what's her face? Oh my god, why am I blanking on her name?
Real quick, shout out Deacon. Thank you for watching. All right, continue.
Okay. Blondie.
Lindsay.
Big boobs, Lindsay. About how she was even excited to get back at Heather a little bit. So I think that's starting her downfall, and I think still it's gonna go that way, especially since the conflict is continuing, and they're still trying to get back at her. So I'm hoping to see maybe I think what's gonna happen is one big event for Heather that'll lead to her being voted out. I don't know when that'll be, but that's kind of what I'm seeing going on.
Yeah, I kind of could agree, because I feel like she was doing so much to get to a point, and it's only it's nowhere else to go. It's no more up. You're at your peak, you're falling, you lost. The little mean girl alliance of Beth, her and Lindsay. When Beth gone, now you're down to 2, and your girl really isn't even following you how she was in the past. So it's it's going to be something massive and something big, and I think it'll be sooner rather than later. I see them, rebelling. It's so many people that's still in the background that Heather is such a presence, so I don't see it happening today, tomorrow, next week. But like Sabrina said, it's going to be one big event that's going to shoot it.
All right. So, in the midst of, the first challenge, like we said, is a rock climbing thing with all these different obstacles. You just have to make it to the top. And it's how much do you trust your person? Obviously Heather and Gwen are arguing, but they're all right, whatever. Gwen, you do it, and then I'll be the person that spots you. And she's attaching all the ropes and everything, and there's one extra one that she puts on the lower of her waist. She's why is this here? She's oh, it's a safety one, don't worry about it. So I mean, obviously Heather again, like sort of sabotaging something, but I mean we'll get to that in a second. Another important thing that happens is DJ is going to be climbing one of the mountains, but what he does is that he can't bring his bunny up there, obviously, because it's a rabbit. So he gives it to Jeff, one of his friends, because we're starting to see Duncan and Jeff and DJ's friendship like grow. But he trusts Jeff to look after the rabbit for him. His bunny, yeah, that's right. So while they're climbing, and Chris is like squirting like hot sauce at them or whatever. It gets to a point where Heather, for some reason, feels the need to like sabotage Gwen for the second time. First it was the diary room, now the diary, now it's this. She like pulls the latch and then like her pants basically come up and like her underwear exposed on national television. They end up winning, but it was still kind of wild. But guys, how do you feel about Heather sabotaging Gwen yet again?
Yeah, like for me, honestly, Heather felt humiliated based on what's been happening. Her being stuck in the freezer, her still being sick. She's not the queen bee. She's not the Dandada, and she has to literally get back at some way, any shape or form. And she's willing to throw her own team under the bus because think about it. If Gwen doesn't get up there and get it first, your team is not getting a point. So that goes to show that Heather, I don't know if she just feels so safe in this game, but things like that would be the reason why I would want to send you home. But Gwen was definitely a trooper. Like at the end of the day, Gwen was like, you know what? I've been humiliated and got exposed about Trent, me being in love with Trent. Now my underwear is showing. Mind you, they're 16 years old. My underwear is just showing. My panties is just out there. What's the worst that could happen? Let me win this challenge and show Heather ass that she's not the queen bee. This is my season, and I'm here to take the fucking throne. Okay?
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think that like Gwen's already been through enough to where she's like, yeah, like what's worse? Like, okay, my underwear is showing great. I'm still gonna win. So like, I think I think at this point, like, she's not sure what Heather will do, but it seems like Heather really isn't doing as much as she thinks she's going to do, I guess. I feel like Gwen's expecting like worse from Heather, and Heather's not really doing a whole lot to her. So Gwen's so I think Gwen's just like, okay, whatever, it's fine. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
Which is, by the way, Lance is not going. He's just going to grab his earphones real quick. But on the Gwen side of things, Sabrina, how do you think Gwen handled this whole situation?
Oh, perfect. Like, I think she did the job. She won the challenge, and that was the whole entire point of it. So even if her underwear was pulled, like, or her pants were pulled down, like, she still won. So she's definitely very determined, and I think she's getting like a better sense of like wanting to win the game, because obviously at first she's started off with being like, oh, I don't want to be here. I don't like anybody. Like, why am I here? But I think now she's developing into like, well, I can win this game and I want to win these challenges, so let's do it. And she's going to stop at nothing to do so. So I think her character is developing into a person that could potentially win. So I think she's not letting Heather or anything else really bother her in that sense.
Yeah. I totally agree, and I just love the fact that you pegged Gwen really early, and Gwen had to grow on me. But as the episodes continue, I see why you related to her, and then also meeting you like this week, I see like why you say that kind of thing. Is definitely like Gwen is definitely a very relatable character throughout the season. And obviously that was also my mic check, so my mic is working and I'm not giving feedback, period. That's how we do that. That's how you do it. That's how you transition back into it, baby.
So yeah, basically the Killer Bass won the first one, and the Screaming Gophers, oh my gosh, these team names, the Screaming Gophers, they basically flop. We're gonna go into part 2. And it is a cooking challenge. Well, it's not really cooking. It's like you're making sushi, I guess. But I mean, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I just can't believe this is a challenge. Like,
I know. Well, I will say it was funny when the intern like did like a front flip into the stage, and then Chris popped out and he see him crawling.
He crawled away. That was great.
But basically, the premise of this part of the challenge for the trust factor is both teams are going to have 2 representatives, and they're going to have to cut this poisonous like puffer fish into like sushi. There's a poisonous ink sac in the middle of it, and basically you have to do it very delicately. On the one side is Trent and Lindsay, and the other side it is Jeff and Bridget. Now we never really saw Lindsay and like Trent ever like bond, so this is the first time where Bridget and Jeff are like kind of like this like showmance almost that's budding sort of. I don't know, but it's awkward. But Lindsay decides to be the one to cut the fish on the one side, and she says that she took biology, and Trenton's like, okay. And on the other side, I believe it was Bridget who is cutting the sushi, and she's a surfer chick, she's used to fish, okay, whatever. So we get to the end of it, and basically you have 2 sides. There's the Bridget's one, which is like perfect sushi, and then there's Lindsay's that looks like fish paste. I don't know what the heck it was supposed to be, but basically Lindsay flopped completely and gave Trent like poisonous fish. I feel bad for Trent because this is like the second challenge in a row where like he's getting hurt.
Yes, I was like, oh, that poor guy. And like that whole scene was so traumatic. Like he just like started went purple and was like puking on himself. I was like, what is going on here? And why did Trent let Lindsay do it? Why? Why did he think that was a relatively good idea? Like, are you kidding me? Like,
it could also be strategy where like, hey, I gain a little sympathy, but also I gain a little sympathy, but it also shows that Lindsay can flop a little bit. Because honestly, you remember the little scene when they were like cutting the fish and the shit just like flew everywhere, broke a window. Like you could obviously tell that she didn't know what she was doing from jump. So I know if I wanted to win, I would immediately jumped in and be like, okay, she can't handle this. Let me do this. Let me get the win. But it also could be a strategy from Trent. Like, hey, I got sympathy if we mess up, and Lindsay's going to look like the bad guy. But when he was literally like sitting there throwing up on himself and like throw up just coming out of his mouth, and it was like, is anyone going to help the guy? And it's like, they just let the kid just lay in his own throw up.
Oh, I know.
You got Chef Hatchet in his nurse cosplay having to give mouth to mouth.
I literally will say, like, Chef has been the shining star, the hidden figure, because it's just love how he transitioned from all these different odd jobs. And I just love when he do pop in, it's like amazing. And we definitely will talk about it more when we get into episode 12, because that was his shining moment. Yes. And I know Sabrina, you was happy about that.
So good. Yes. I was watching the 2 episodes out here, and my fiance came in and was like, who's your favorite? And I was like, Chef. That's my guy.
So basically obviously the Scream Gophers win this one, so it's tied 1-1. It is cool though, because this challenge resulted in Jeff and Bridget like bonding, because like this is a trust challenge and they trust each other now. So we're starting to see Bridget finally reciprocate feelings to Jeff, and they're starting to feel each other out. They go swimming, but you forgot Jeff is watching DJ's Rabbit. And he puts it down. Worst case scenario, he stops paying attention. So the rabbit gets eaten by a snake, which gets eaten by what? An eagle.
An eagle. And
which gets eaten by a shark. So the bunny's dead.
No!
I immediately knew when that happened. I was like, DJ is going to flip a lid, have an emotional breakdown, and this is DJ's exit. I was like, ooh, this is the perfect way to write a DJ exit, like him just being an emotional wreck. And I just felt so bad. Like my heart immediately sympathized for DJ. It's so crazy that I sympathize with a freaking cartoon. That goes to show you how dedicated we are to this. Like we are feeling these people like these I don't know. It's crazy, but I felt bad for him.
As soon as DJ gave Bunny to Jeff, I was like, oh, it's gonna be horrible. Like something was gonna happen. And like
Jeff with a G
actually died. Like
Jeff with all people, you give it to Jeff with a G.
Of course, all people. Of course.
So we're gonna move on. In the next part of the challenge is what is it? It's a specific name, but it's Sir Isaac Newton or something. I don't know. But basically, they have apples on their head and they have to shoot an arrow. I think this is not the last part of it, but it's it's another portion. These challenges are really getting dangerous, actually. Now that I'm watching, but so before it starts, they have to before they start, DJ's like, oh yeah, I can get my rabbit back. Yo, Jeff, where's my rabbit? He's like, Bunny ran away, and DJ is just like depressed. He's like, I trust you, like
Literally, DJ's eyeballs went like sad eyes. You know what I mean? Dots. He was like, I was like, it's like not funny.
It was like, why did you do this? And like, it's just how they like sympathize, and like you just saw the water in his eyes.
Yeah,
I'm like,
sad eyes. I was like,
DJ did not deserve. He did not deserve.
The challenge itself wasn't that important, honestly. I mean, it was what Courtney just kept getting hit. Because they had
it was the apple. It was the reversal of the apple off the head. It was shoot the arrow off the head with the apple.
Yeah.
Lashana was the star. She won it.
She killed it.
How do you guys feel about Lashana? Because I think the last 2 episodes she's starting to get screen time now.
Yeah, she is. She's getting a little bit better at the challenges, which is good for her to stay in. And I feel like she's never been like even in the running to be eliminated. Maybe one time, like whenever she first had confrontation with Heather at the very, very beginning, I know Heather like wanted her out, but that was like it. Like I feel like recently she's not been a target. So like she could just come on through the merge, honestly. Like I see her going pretty decently far.
Yeah, 100%. Like I definitely see Lashana in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
I still don't see winner in Lashana, but like you say, no one has thrown her name out. No one has really picked her as a threat. I just feel that she doesn't have those people, and that's what I'm worried about her moving forward. That she's not like gaining those allies that she really needs. If she's she's really good with Gwen, why not jump on that train a little harder? Like, why not just be the home girl and become an actual asset and an ally? So hopefully she could spice it up as we move forward. But right now, Lashana is still like in that middle ground for me.
And that's why I was hoping that like Beth would stay, because it seemed like they were going to become an alliance. And that would have been like great, because they probably would have hooked up with Gwen and like kept going forward. But then that just derailed immediately, which sucks. I was hoping that would be a good duo.
All right. So, like we said, Sadie gets it off of Courtney's head. Go for 2-1. This is a challenge heavy episode if you haven't realized already.
Sure.
So the next one, not much importance happens. I mean, it's more comedic factor. It's like a trapeze type thing. You have to swing and catch the person, and if you don't catch them, they're going to fall into a pool of jellyfish. Very dangerous. But there you go. So Harold successfully catches Bridget, and for some reason Heather gets her karma, and she doesn't get caught by Lindsay. I don't know why they keep using Lindsay for these challenges, because she's not that good. But
she couldn't even count her girl down to 3 to jump. Oh my god! Oh my god!
It couldn't be me. Absolutely not. And the best part was because Heather had this jellyfish on her. Chef had a large needle in like for Trent and all these people. I'm like, what is he like? You're not going to fix anything. You're just like being trying to hurt these people. But it's
seriously.
So before the last part of the challenge, because it's tied 2-2, we're going to see Duncan actually be nice for once, and he's getting a new rabbit for DJ. So that's interesting. I think Courtney's the only one that actually caught him doing that. So we're going to
was I just slow or not that this was actually a new rabbit and wasn't just like the rabbit that survived the attack?
Oh, it's a new rabbit.
It's a new rabbit. So see, I thought the same thing originally. I was like, did he survive? And it's actually Bunny? But no, that makes no sense. I think it's legitimately a new rabbit.
Okay, so do you think that DJ will eventually realize that this is not the same rabbit he connected with on all those other days?
I can see that. I could see that happening, which would be bad. Yeah.
I can't comment.
You can't. Oh, so it's something he can't comment on. Isaiah knows stuff that we don't know, Sab. So ooh.
So we'll see
we'll see.
So the tiebreaker basically is just a bobsled thing down a hill. They covered the bottom of the sleds with like grease or something to make it super slippery. So what? Lashana and Gwen are on one side. They have to do this blindfolded too. Like Gwen is the eyes,
like,
Lashana's controlling.
seriously?
So they're doing one, and then on the other one, it's DJ and Jeff, I believe. And DJ is still in awe because his rabbit ran away. And then Jeff is trying to talk him out of it, and it's just really bad. But during the middle of this challenge, when it looked like they were about to lose to Lashana and Gwen, they basically like, hey, wait, look, Duncan has your rabbit. He takes the blindfold off. Oh, okay, I can do this. And then he gets back into the zone.
Yeah.
They won the challenge. Unfortunately, due to the rules, though, you're not supposed to take off your blindfold, and the Gophers lose this challenge. Now, with that being said, DJ has a new rabbit. Or an old rabbit, no, it's a new rabbit. It's a new rabbit. But Courtney's like, I saw you give that rabbit. And people, it's like people are starting to see that Duncan is not just the bad boy persona that he puts out. The guy who's afraid of Celine Dion cardboard cutout.
I forgot about that.
Oh my God, I forgot that was him.
That was the best one.
But yeah. So we're going to go to their marshmallow ceremony. Straightforward, honestly. Like Sadie, cannon fodder. Honestly, what's your guys' opinions on Sadie? I know you guys were expecting big things from her when Katie left, but I mean, she didn't really do anything.
And then the fact that Katie was literally on the boat, like to come pick her up, like I was like, wow, what?
And that freaking screech really like drove me wild. Like, yeah, I was someone who was so excited for them to break up because I wanted one of them to shine. And when Katie left, I expected Sadie to have an immediate breakout episode. She didn't have. And we thought like, okay, well, maybe it's coming. It hasn't happened. So I was honestly okay with her going home because she didn't really bring nothing for me. But it kind of sucks because I feel like she has so much personality. Like, so I hope to see her in a future series or something because I haven't watched this series much, but I know a lot of characters like make reappearances and come back for future seasons. So hopefully she's someone that maybe they'll shine because I know they have an Amazing Race version and maybe Katie and Sadie are a team in it or something. Maybe we'll see.
That'd be cool.
All right. Fun fact, I have never watched Redonkulous Race, so whenever we watch that, I will be new to that, just like y'all. So that's gonna be cool. I have no idea who's on that cast. So, as we get to this, so that's that episode. That's episode 11. Real quick, how did you guys feel about episode 11 on this scale of 1 to 10?
I say like a strong 6, maybe a hard 7. Like it was, like you said, it was challenge heavy, but it also was able to individualize some people. Like we saw Lindsay become a flop. We saw people get, like people's little, innuendos. We saw, different sides of many people and what can cause someone to be a target more than others.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree, like on like maybe a 7. I liked that there was a lot of challenges because like that's my favorite part of watching these shows is the challenges. And then I thought there was like a lot of the comedic factor in it. Like, I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny. So yeah, I'll go the 7.
You know who we didn't talk a lot about this episode? Owen. He didn't have, usually every episode he has those like moments that always is like, ooh, Owen is still there, trucking on by. This episode, did he really have one?
The only thing was he was the target for Lashana. So every time the apple hit him, he was just like, hey.
Yeah. Okay. See, it's always something small, but he didn't have as a dynamic.
Major moment. Now, going into this episode, I mean, you guys might feel differently. I don't know. I think at this point with Sadie going, everyone left going into 12 had some sort of edit story-wise. At least at some point in the earlier episodes. So, I mean, I don't know if you guys felt that way, but at least to me, when I first watched it, I felt like all the background characters were at least out the game and like the game was really about to start, in my opinion. I don't know.
I would agree with that. Like, it definitely seems like, like everybody left had like
everyone else has had like an episode.
I feel Bridget is still a person that's she hasn't had like a really dynamic storyline. Also, like I feel a person who has if we had to re-pick right here, if we had to like re-pick now, Harold is definitely someone I would want because I feel like Harold is just growing slowly but surely every episode.
All right. Specifically this one, but we will talk about it. Usually we get the episode started out with Chris, but we did not. It's funny, the recap started with Chef this time, and we find out that Chris is, since he is a celebrity, at some award show. So this episode will be hosted by Chef Hatchet. I know Sabrina was probably very happy about that. Real quick, how did you guys feel about Chef as the host for an episode?
Great. Epic. Emmy winning worthy. No, I mean, it's nice because like with Chris, it's like, nah, he's all right. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just the same old thing. Like, even during like the marshmallow ceremonies when they're like, get on with it. Like, why do you say the same thing every time? Like, even like the campers like are over it. So it's kind of nice change of pace.
Yeah, and I felt like we needed a little more in depth with Chef. Like, yeah, he had small little moments, but to get a whole episode full of Chef and full of his comedic ability was refreshing.
Yeah.
All right. So we find out this challenge is not really a challenge, but it was an interesting aspect. It's boot camp. Basically, Chef is going to be playing the warden, and he's going to be making what Chef says, you do, period. Like, that's it. So, he's very intense with everybody. He's making sure everyone's standing proper. He's yelling at people.
Whack, 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 whack.
Exactly.
Whack, 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 whack. I'm like, dang, these kids are 16. You're beating their ass.
Literally, like
beating them.
I mean, some people like Duncan kind of need that though. Juvie guy and everything. Some of these people need it. But the first part of the challenge is, it's pretty straightforward. This is like some pressure cooker stuff. They have to all hold this boat up, and whoever has the most people at the end of it wins. I mean, that's cool. I mean, no explosions, no jellyfish, no dynamite. So during this, we see people like Jeff and Duncan and DJ, like they're really messing with Harold again. They rip his underwear with the fish hook this episode during this challenge.
Yeah.
This challenge goes on for a while until the point where I think I'm trying to remember who wins this challenge. It was the Gophers, I believe, the first part, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because didn't Lindsay go like smash the bell with her head or something like that?
Yes.
Because many people like actually took their hands off the boat or whatever. So I thought it was like going to be an automatic DQ kind of thing. Yeah. But they, if they snapped back into it and went back into the challenge, I guess it was fair game because I think I don't know if it was hair at one point, but a couple of people. Yeah, like a couple people like took their hands off, and even when Lindsay took her hand off, they still had people on the other team that had their hands off. But I guess it was all about making it to the bell, and she was over it. So this was kind of like amazing for me though, because it felt like a old Survivor challenge where like endurance, like how long can you last it, pass the extra weight to your person, because like as you take your hands off, someone else is dealing with more of the weight, and it seemed like Owen was definitely like holding it down for his team, like he wasn't going nowhere.
Now this wasn't really a challenge for immunity. It was more for a reward almost. Basically the Gophers got to eat actual food, and then the Bass got to eat garbage. So, I mean, there you go. Another moment of the guys messing with Harold. They give him a cup of apple juice, and that's his favorite drink, and he drinks it, and he said, "This isn't juice." And I thought it was going to be something else when he first said that, but they're like, "It's kitchen grease." I would be like, that would have been brutal.
I thought it was going to be pee. I thought it was going to be pee.
I thought it was going to be pee too. I thought they literally spiking him with some damn pee. Because like when we think of apple juice, we think of the same color-ish of, So I thought the same thing. But when they say grease, I'm like, oh, that's also freaking disgusting.
Horrible. It would just coat your mouth. Like, yeah.
I have a history with this actually, because my roommate was filling the apple juice container with grease, and I didn't know that. And I went to drink some. I was like, what the F is this? I was like,
no.
So I can relate. I hate that. But real quick before we move on, how do you guys feel about Jeff, DJ, and Duncan just messing with Harold a lot? It's becoming like a regular thing now.
So, like, they even told him that if he admitted that he was throwing his underwear and if he stopped, they would stop messing with him. And he did that. He admitted to it and he stopped doing it. So why do they keep going? Like, I don't know.
Honestly, I'm surprised that DJ is a part of the Mean Boy tactics. Like, I see it from Jeff with a G. Like, ugh. But DJ is so sweet, and some it sucks that he's even involved in it. But yeah. But honestly, that's also an alliance, a tight group for DJ possibly. Like, yeah, they have a kinship in that. But at the end of the day, I think Harold will prevail opposed to them.
Yep.
Okay. So the next series of events, I mean, there's nothing super important. It's just more challenge boot camp type stuff, like what they had them doing the Thriller dance at one point. I thought that was
that was iconic.
Yeah.
Chef was like his little beats, everything. I don't know.
Like this.
Yeah, Chef was just,
really?
yeah.
And then they started doing like this, and I was like, okay.
What else? Then you got people mopping bathrooms, doing obstacle courses, all that fun stuff. The objective is Chef is just trying to break these people, but Duncan is so hard-headed because juvie. So he just messes with him. He kisses his nose and all this stuff. And Chef is just like, all right, like, you specifically. He's like, I got a problem with you. And he makes him keep a night in solitary confinement, which is basically just an old boathouse with a bunch of bear traps and stuff. So, that's Duncan's night. But Courtney sneaks him some food. And this is another one of these moments where we're seeing Courtney and Duncan bond, but this is the biggest out of all of them. Duncan's like, oh, so you have a bad side? She's like, no, I'm just looking out for you. He said, this is cool. Let's go get some real food. And what they do is Courtney and Duncan sneak onto Chris's set, Chris and Chef, which is the first time we actually see this on screen, by the way, but this is like their secret set. They got all this good food and stuff. They steal it and then they go bring it to the rest of the people. So that was a nice little scene. Courtney's definitely like opening up more. Like she started off very like reserved and like the perfect girl, but like now she's like Duncan's growing on her. They end up kissing over here. How do you guys feel about Courtney and Duncan individually or a couple or like whatever?
I mean, for me, it also, like, leading up to it, Duncan, I guess, also was trying to prove that he's a badass because, he had that little small stint of being a softie for what he did. So it's like this episode, he was like, I got to show y'all that I'm the bad guy. So at first I was kind of like over it, what he was doing to Chef and, make it seem like, oh, I'm this tough. But then when he got put in isolation, it showed a little bit of weakness that he was like, oh, I guess I should have kept my mouth closed. But then when Courtney came, it was just like, for me, it was so refreshing to see, that she cared. And then also for him to get her out of that shell, because that's when she started doing things that she would never do and be rebellious and do things that Courtney on her own never would have done. So sometimes like the right type of wrong will do the justice for someone because, like even in school when people are like, why do good girls go for the bad guys? And that's what that felt like. But then also seeing that bad guy isn't really a bad guy and that good girl isn't really a good girl was like kind of like sweet for me. And I was excited to see like my girl develop more with someone and can't wait to see more of that.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was really cute and like really fun. Like, yeah, like you said, to see them like in kind of different roles, like of Duncan being a little more sweet and Courtney being a little more rebellious. So I'm so glad they like got closer and they kissed and it was great. And I was like, that's so cute. And then I loved Courtney's like maniacal evil laugh whenever she was like doing something bad. Like whenever she told Chef like to take a chill pill and she's like, and she like runs away like, I did it. Like, like the little for her like bad. Like I thought it was really funny.
Now we did see Harold catching this, by the way. So he has something to work with over there if he ever wants to do something, which we will get into soon. The next part of the challenge, this was the actual challenge. Everything else just to break everybody, but this is the real challenge. He has everyone hanging upside down from a tree. You're gonna have blood rushing to your head and all this stuff. But basically, the last team with everyone on there wins. Straightforward endurance. A lot of endurance this episode, but I actually enjoyed the endurance. Cat. And basically, Gwen wins the challenge for the killer bass, which means the Screaming Gophers will be going to the tribal council for the second time in a row. Now that ever since Beth got rid of that tiki idol, they've been winning, challenges. So, Gwen again showing her challenge comp prowess. Gwen is killing it. And yeah, so we're going to tribal council, and this is honestly, you guys have been begging for like a moment where like they actually focus on the ceremony. This is honestly one of the more controversial tribals in not even just Island, but in the whole series in general. Because if you do, if we're going to put the show aside and we're putting numbers together, what you have the guys realistically, Duncan, DJ, and Jeff, and then you're going to have Bridget, who's Jeff's showmance. That's 4. And then you have Courtney with them. That's 5. That's 5 against 1. Harold should be gone with no problem. But Harold cheats, and he switches all the votes and gets Courtney eliminated. And he gets caught on the confessionals and he doesn't care. He's like, yes, at the end of it. So Harold got his revenge on Duncan and Jeff and DJ, and the showmance is split up. He weakened Duncan a little bit. Now, I know you guys are big Courtney fans, and this is going to be probably upsetted you. But, Lance, how did you feel about your number one Courtney going home this episode?
Well, when I was watching the episode, I never expected the trajectory that was happening. I never expected Courtney to go home, especially with the breakout moment she had. And it pained me. We've been screaming for a blindside. We've been screaming for an upset. But why my girl? Literally, this could have been an episode that Heather went home. The other team should have lost. Heather could have went home. I would have been okay. Courtney did not deserve. I lie. I don't think I would have been happy that Heather went. But I'm just so mad that like they didn't catch that. Like, Harold, you sneaky slug. And to think, like, I've been loving the growth of Harold. And it also shows he'll do anything it takes to win. If you have to switch a vote every round all the way to the end, do that. But why do that to my girl? Like, you could have took out one of the boys that's been actually bullying you, but you took out Courtney. And I'm sad and mad. And I hope some type of redemption happens when my girl gets to come back, because it was so weird for me. Like, they all spoke up. It was like, we know us 3 voted together, so it's them. And Courtney couldn't have voted herself. We know what she did. Like, that's 4 votes right there. Like, what is going on? What's up?
Like, I think I would have been less upset if it happened organically. Like, if something happened that like caused everybody to turn on Courtney, that would be different. Right. But the fact that it was so illegal. Like, he literally in the confessional can opened up the thing and put votes in. Like, he's only caught on camera and they still let it happen. Like, that kind of stuff irritates me so much. And so like, I know obviously it's a cartoon, whatever, but I was just like, what the hell? Like, how
you're invested?
We're so invested. So like, we see that it drains us. Like you said, like, we've been screaming for a blindside, but if it would have happened straight up and my girl just got bamboozled, I would have been like, y'all did that. My queen is still a queen, but my queen got bamboozled for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
That's why I was starting to say, it seems like since all the background characters, maybe other than like Bridget, but most of the background characters are like gone. Now we're going to start seeing people's favorites leave. Because the people the characters that actually got focus, it's like, all right, like, these people are going, let's actually play the game now. Chris is a very controversial host, so he lets a lot of things slide. He doesn't care. So of course he's going to let Harold do something if it's like for ratings. I, to this day, still hate this, and I mean, I'm not going to spoil the rest of the season, but I one time with my friends sat we sat down for an hour and we were like, okay, if this didn't happen and Courtney was still in the game, like we ran through the entire season just to see who will win, and it was extremely different because it's like what
she was
don't
a vital part. She's a vital part of a lot of people's game.
exactly.
Like
she
just
has
for
a
me not,
showmance.
yeah, me not knowing nothing. You
Yeah.
know?
Like she's a showman. She's friends with Bridget. She, now she's friends since she's with Duncan to a degree. Duncan and his people, like that would have been something, but we got robbed of that. So it's like I still feel some type of way to this day about it. But
and also like how you mentioned about saying how like all the background characters are starting to fluff out. Me and Sab have to be very strategic with how we rank these people. Because we literally could lose A or even an S at any moment now. Like we just saw that we lost a possible A with Courtney. That drains me. It's sad. So we have to be strategic because I think this is our first like big hit, right, Isaiah?
Oh yeah. This is the first person that's not like C tier to be eliminated from y'all list. So that is episodes 11 and 12. Before we move on to the next segment, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you guys scale episode 12?
0. My girl went home. But if I really had to rate it, it was definitely good. See his strategy and see like a more like campfire ceremony focus. I'll stick kind of like I did last episode. A good 7 for me.
Yeah, I would agree. 6 or a 7. Like the outcome sucked, but I liked Chef's whole part of it, and I really liked Courtney and Duncan's little bit. Like that was cute, and yeah, I kind of had everything like challenge, personal, and the strategic stuff. Yeah, it was pretty good.
All right, let's move on to the tier list.
Yay!
Last time we were here, Sabrina was in charge of ranking, but this time we are back to both of you.
Yes.
Now, Lance, I don't know. Did you see what the ranking was last time or no?
I'm about to see right now.
All right. Deacon says he thinks the episode was good. Now real quick, Courtney was put at A. She will be put down to eliminated. And also Sadie, Adita. Now you guys got that right.
Period.
Yeah.
Whew.
Damn.
So how many people are left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Final 11. So
where's the merge?
Oh, what's the merge?
I can't say anything. So Owen, for you guys, you guys have him at the top. He's been an S literally the entire season. I think Lance said it earlier. These were very quiet episodes for Owen. Does that affect your guys' ratings at all?
I don't know because even in this last episode, like he had his little moment with like the hole in the canoe. I don't know. He's just such to me like easily a fan favorite. I don't know. Ooh.
So to me, I want to put him like bottom A or even top B.
We have to be strategic. And
I'm thinking this because there are people who are now forming strong bonds and alliances. Owen isn't necessarily in any of those alliances.
He's just a fan favorite. He's just funny.
He doesn't have numbers. And so when it comes to merge time, if that happens, like he is like nobody is targeting him. Nobody wants him to go home. But if it becomes a numbers game, he'd be one of the first to go.
Okay, I'm okay with that. And as we move forward, let's move him to top B for now as we rank the rest of the people. It's a big drop, but I feel the same way, Sab. Like I feel like there's so many people in this game with only 11 people left. It's some people with strong bonds where like Owen could get lost in the sauce and we'll see like, hey, yeah, you're funny, but see you in the future kind of thing. Like, sorry.
That's what I'm afraid of with him.
All right. So next we're going to go to our A tiers. Gwen, honestly, character wise, I mean, she was fighting with Heather and still, but honestly, these last two episodes, I think Gwen's big thing, it wasn't like the showman's focus like usual, but it was more so kind of showing her comp ability. She won a comp both episodes, so I mean, she's winning competitions. That's her edit. But what are you guys doing with Gwen here?
Yeah, Gwen is one of Sav's favorites, and honestly, if it goes traditional Survivor style in individual stage, this could be like an innuendo to how she plays that merge game. She could be a powerful woman in the game. She has her allies, she has her people, and I think she's slowly going to continue to wrap herself around some of those like floaters, and she's going to be the one to take out Heather. I'm calling it now. She's going to be the one to rally it out. Heather think it's a battle. Gwen is going to win this battle against Heather because she's definitely shining more as the queen bee more than Heather is right now. And I honestly would say she deserves at least 1 week as an S, and I think this is one of the weeks for it. But Sab, give your opinion.
Yeah, I feel exactly how you feel. Like, and I think too with showing, especially these last two episodes, that she is really a comp beast. Like, she's won a few times before, but like now it's like back to back. Like, she's really getting a stride here. And like, if merge does come soon, yeah, she really could dominate. And I think too, like, she's got Trent for sure. That's pretty strong. And she's got people also who do not like Heather, not just her. So yeah, I think I could see that happening, like her defeating Heather in this battle of theirs.
All right. Let's go to Duncan. Duncan, honestly, episode 11, working at a social game a little bit, he got the Rav and everything, so people see that he's a likable guy. Honestly, in both episodes, I think it's kind of showing that him, Jeff, and DJ are like tight. And it's unfortunate because then he would have been tight with those two, and he would have had a showman's, but I mean, he just lost that. So, kind of took a hit there. But honestly, I don't, other than like Harold, there's not many people, at least on his team, that dislike him. I think everyone but Harold likes Duncan over at the Killer Bass. What do you guys feel about Duncan?
I think I'd like to keep him just right where he is at A, because I think, yeah, like you said, he's continuing to solidify the bond between DJ and Jeff with a G, which is great for him because those people have been actually doing pretty good recently in the challenges. They've been, trying pretty hard, and nobody dislikes any of them. So he could really get numbers. And I know that, I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think if he does have to move, it would definitely be above Owen on B. But I think Duncan solidified himself in these last two episodes, as in, yes, he took a small little hit with losing his showmance, but we are also seeing that strong alliance building with DJ and Jeff with a G. For me, if they're going to strike at that alliance, I feel like they would strike at Jeff before they would ever strike at Duncan. And we also been seeing like little small tad bits of his strategy and social ability. So I think he's good where he's at least for this week, and we'll have to see what the future holds.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Next, you already did Owen. So next is Heather, like you guys said. She started off very dominating, but it's almost like comedic relief at this point. Like, she doesn't have much respect at all, other than like maybe Lindsay, but even to Lindsay, like it's to a degree, yeah, Heather really is just kind of being like tossed around like she's like a joke at right now. But I mean, things can change. So, what do you guys think about Heather?
I don't know what to do with her because she is such a strong personality that like that could be to her benefit, but at the same time, like I think she's on the decline, and I don't know if she's going to recover or not. Especially when the only person who probably would be on her side is Lindsay, and she's already kind of going the other direction with that. So I don't know.
Yeah, we haven't seen much development of Lindsay and her relationship since, even before Beth, even when Beth was still in the game, and Beth was the one actively like willing to showcase that they'll break against Heather, but we haven't seen more like growth. Lindsay has been trying to do her own thing. Yeah. So I think, honestly, for safekeeping, we need to move her to C. Okay. Depending on, how we rank the other people, we could just put her at the beginning of C for now. Yeah. But I just see like, soon people are going to be tired of it, and especially if it's a merge scenario, if Gwen could get enough people to jump on a vote to send Heather out,
Yeah.
We might see it sooner rather than later.
Yeah. I agree. Let's do that.
Top of C.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Next is Lindsay. She is kind of really bad at challenges, but I mean, I don't think anyone actively hates Lindsay, but nor do I think anyone actively likes Lindsay. She's just kind of there still with Heather. But even like I said earlier, with that, it's like to a certain degree. So it's like, how do you guys feel about Lindsay? She's very in the middle right now.
Yeah, I think Lindsay's a goat at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think people will keep her around just to take her to the finals. That's kind of
she doesn't have any winning qualities. Like she doesn't have nothing that I could sit there and listen and be like, so far in the game that I could say, oh my God, Lindsay, you did the damn thing and you deserve the crown. So for me, like she's always been behind Heather in all aspects, and she hasn't done anything to scoop up. So I think she needs to follow in that track record and be behind Heather and see.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I agree.
A lot of people moving down today.
And we got to be very strategic, DC.
Yeah.
We got to be safekeeping. We ain't trying to take another A hit, baby.
All right. So next is Trent. He was kind of invisible both episodes. I mean, he got poisoned the last one, but it seems like we're really only seeing at least up to this point. I don't know what's gonna. I know what happens in the future, but you guys don't know what's gonna happen in the future. To this point, at least, it seems like Trent is only being shown on screen. When it comes to Gwen, and them flirting or something. But these 2 episodes, we haven't seen anything from Trent. Is kind of invisible. How do you guys feel about Trent?
I still think he's in a decent spot. I don't feel that he's going home.
No.
I think Gwen was stopping nothing to make sure he stays in his game. And, usually it's like the man, calling all the shots in the showmans, but Gwen is definitely the Don Dada. I don't feel like he's in any type of danger. C tier, safe tier, and I feel like that's kind of like where he is in the game right now.
Yeah, we can just keep him there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have a lot of opinion.
Next is DJ. A lot of development from DJ in episode 11? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was he's really just him and Duncan and Jeff. Yeah, it's Jeff. They're just really like coming together as a friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I don't know anyone who dislikes DJ. He has a good social game if that, and I mean he's not horrible at challenges. It's going to come down to him doing stuff strategically. But how do you guys feel about DJ?
I think with DJ, the biggest development for him is that alliance, and they already clearly voted together, even though Courtney went home. Like they all voted the same way. So I think he's going to continue to have a voting block with those people to potentially keep him safe. And also with the challenge in episode 11, whenever he was focused, he killed it. So I think if he stays focused in challenges, he will start to win. So I think he has that potential as long as he's keeps his eye on the prize. I think he can get there. So I would like to move him to maybe the end of B or beginning of C.
Yeah, I think DJ deserves to at least go to the end of B. I think DJ has definitely, that alliance is definitely a haymaker for him. Mm-hmm. And of course, the new bunny situation. The only thing that scares me is this new bunny situation. I'm scared something's going to happen where he's going to realize that that's not Bunny and he will turn against Duncan. And at the end of the day, I feel Duncan has a little more leverage than DJ, and it could bite DJ in the butt. But let's take if we be a little safe with other picks, so let's take a risk with Mr. DJ and give him bottom B.
All right. Next is Lashana. Quiet episodes from Lashana. I don't really know what to say. I mean, they kind of carried over the drama with her and Heather at the beginning of 11, but after that, I mean, we don't really see much from Lashana here. She's kind of just gone back to the background. But thoughts?
Yeah, for me, Lashana, she had her little moment in the first episode where she was the one who actually won the challenge with the apple and the arrow. and a little bit of drama, but she's been having a little bit of drama with Heather all season, so that's nothing new. For me, I feel she's not solidifying relationships, and it's scaring me that people are just gonna, if they, it gets to a round where they just need to just vote someone off. She don't have that social capital with some of these people. She's just that fun-loving girl that people like.
Right.
But what hardcore relationships is she making in this game? She just slowly been on the decline. Like, we were so happy for her at the beginning. She had her star episode with the fuss with Heather, the iconic episode that people talk about in Total Drama. And since then, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we can just keep her right there.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I was kind of saying top of D, but
that's fine with me too. Like, I'm okay with the board up a little bit.
She just hasn't. She just hasn't.
She hasn't done. I mean, she hasn't really done much. So yeah.
All right. Next is Harold. So interesting. Don't know where to go with Harold here. I mean, like, up to this point, he is he's not respected. I don't know why, because he honestly has won a lot of challenges for this team, and they would be losing a lot if it wasn't for Harold. But they don't respect the guy. They keep messing with him, and I don't know. I know you guys don't know if they're going to find out what he did or not. But that was a pretty big deal. He just switched votes and got Corny out. That's a pretty big deal. So what do you guys think is going to happen? Is Harold going to be some mastermind? Is Harold just going to be caught, and then they're going to be like, F you, Harold, get out of here? Like, I don't know what's going on.
I'm leaning more towards that he's going to get caught and people are going to be pissed. Because I feel like as sneaky as he's trying to be and like trying to make these moves, I feel like he's still awkward and still doesn't have like the smoothness to like really get away with what he's trying to do. I think the intention is there, and like I kind of like the drive that he has. Like Lance said earlier, that like he would probably do anything to win the game, but I don't know if he's fully capable of going through with what he wants to do and get away with it. So I'm like tempted to like move him up, but keep him in C tier, move him up in C tier just because of what he did, like just the determination of that. But I don't think it's going to continue on the ups. Like, I think, I don't know.
Yeah, like I literally see it a little bit different than you. I see it taking the master mindful role where like if he could really pull in all those people that don't really have those big connections, he could really do some damage.
Yeah.
And flip it and make people think like actually this person maybe did vote out Courtney and start confusing the whole alliance, and he could tear them up from within.
Okay.
So yeah, I would definitely be okay with moving him to the top of C. Because I just feel like we got to give him his props for what he's been doing in the last couple of episodes and showcase that for some of these people who has been on the decline.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. So you guys said top is here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
All right. And let's move to the D tier. The last two, Jeff with a G. I mean, just like we said, I mean, you guys have DJ and Duncan up there, so I mean, I'm interested to see what you guys are going to do here. But Jeff, honestly, like we said, solidifying something with Duncan and DJ, and it seems like Bridget and him are like becoming a thing now. Like, it's not awkward anymore. I don't know. What are you guys thinking about Jeff?
Go ahead.
No, you go.
He's the expendable one of that trio. Jeff with a G has not done it for me all season. Yes, he got in this group with these people, but like, look at me calling him Jeff with a G. Like, I don't know. He just doesn't do it for me. But he had more of a star episode than a couple people in that D tier and even a couple people in that C tier. So I'm interested to see like what Sav have to say. We could come to a compromise of where we want to put it.
Yeah, I think like really the only main thing that makes me want to move him up a tiny bit is that alliance that he has. Because like other than that, like, I mean, challenge wise, he ate a pufferfish and then he helped. I mean, he did help DJ, even though that was against the rules, he still helped him like get focused and like win the challenge. But he lost Bunny. Bunny died. So like that's already negative points. But I do think that his story is more developed than some of these people that are in C and D tier. So I think that says something. So if I were to move him, I would either put him at the end of C or beginning of D.
No, I think he deserved to move up. So yeah, because of the alliance, we'll move him up to end of C.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
And we can just keep Bridget right there.
Period. That's all we gotta say. Let's move on to our drafts. Period.
All right. Look at all these losers down here, man. Look, you guys got through all these people.
Wow.
And most of them we were correct.
Yeah.
The moment we moved up Cody is when he went, and then our girl Courtney. So that's the only big hits we ever had was Cody and Courtney. And Cody, it wasn't like a big hit; it was a C tier hit.
It was an injury too, to be fair. So
yeah,
I
it was
mean,
a high C, yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, you guys got Gwen at the top now. This is the first time Owen has not been top of S all season.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, and lastly, I'm gonna update y'all draft. Sadie, Courtney, eliminated.
And then I also have Bridget. Oh my god, I suck.
Okay, but listen though, I still could see either Owen or Heather potentially winning. You never freaking know, and because especially with Courtney going home, we don't know what's gonna happen. We really don't know.
Lance's team is bad luck. Oh man, like
I lost. Man, oh my god.
Man. What's that coconut?
We can't talk about it. But look,
ooh, is that an individual immunity item?
But look, it doesn't matter because there's only one winner, Lance. So you don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it doesn't matter.
I need to take a hit the next 3 weeks for me to feel okay.
This cartoon is so unpredictable. Like, you could really have the winner right now.
You have 8 people still.
But you have Owen and Heather still. Like, they're still.
And look what we did. We knocked both
foreshadows anything. Deacon says, here. I can't wait for the next few weeks. The next few episodes are great. So
okay, great.
You don't know what's coming up. You know what I'm saying? It ain't over till it's over.
Honestly, but think about it. If we going off of our track record, we knocked Owen and Heather both down. And I have the fluffiest of the fluff, Bridget. So Sabrina, I want to give you your kudos now. You're a winner, baby. You're a winner. You're a winner, baby.
I don't like to pre-call anything. Like I have to step back and wait. I gotta wait.
If I do another week of losing 2 people, it will go crazy.
Oh God. Okay. Well, anyone who's watching, thank you for tuning in. This was the episode 11 and 12 recap of Total Drama. I know we're late this week, but I mean, there's just a lot of stuff going on. Sorry about that. But tune in with us. Tune in with us on Tuesday because Anime Club, we're going to be talking about Toradora with Cheyenne and Lance. I said, oh God, Cheyenne and Noah and Josh. And then Wednesday, we also will be back to talk about Temptation Island with Sasha and Geneva and Abby. Oh, and Tuesday, Sarah will be talking about Big Brother Canada with a guest. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, let's just close out. Sabrina, where can people find you? What you up to, all that stuff?
You can find me at Sabrizi2492 on Instagram and Twitter. And on YouTube, go to Victory House Productions and take a look at the season 3 promo. Lance and I are both on that season, so you'll get to see all the exciting moments that happen. We cannot wait for y'all to see the video, so be on the lookout. It'll drop first episode in June.
All right. How about you, Lance?
All right, you guys, you can find me at I am King Lance on both Twitter and Instagram. I'm so excited to be a part of this. It's so much greatness coming. You'll be seeing me soon on the Silent Podcast. Recaps of the Challenge All-Stars. I'm excited about that because that's a big nostalgia moment for me because there's a lot of people that I grew up on. Like I grew up on reality TV and seeing some of those like OGs come back and seeing them play the game will be amazing. So look out for that. That starts the first episode of Challenge All-Stars starts April 1st, right? Friday. So you'll be seeing something soon from us, whether it's a cast analysis, something coming up soon with a couple other folks. We got to just, iron out the kinks of that. Also, we've been on a little bit of a break, but still continue to watch Black Boy Watch. We're all busy people. We all are busy, but continue to look out for Black Boy Watch on both Twitch and Twitter at Black Boy Watch. We are still out there. It's just been a little bit of break because Big Brother Can has been an exciting one. So I know y'all ready to see those hot takes, but follow your boy. And if you have any questions, hit me up, or you want to go on a date, hit me up at I am King Lance, period.
Oh, okay.
Right. And lastly, like usual, you can find me at 8 Ball Bangers on all socials. Like Lance said, Challenge and a lot of other shows will be announced sometime next week. I'm going to be dealing with all the scheduling and everything. We're going to see RuPaul's Drag Race. We're going to see some Disney Channel movie reviews. We're going to be seeing some.
I want in on DCOM. I want in on the DCOM.
Hello. Okay. Yeah.
We got a lot of stuff that's coming, so keep a lookout for that. And if you watch Rob Has a Podcast, I was on there last week talking about Big Brother Canada, so you can look over there. You never know where you're going to see me talking over there. So and yeah, then just keep a lookout, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you everyone for supporting the channel, and we will see you guys next time. But for now, have a good one.
Also, make sure y'all look out for Little Mix Sweet Melody.